I had somebody mention on one of my readings in the comments that I had talked about doing a vision board because they have been successful for me, and somebody was nice enough to comment and say, hey, why don't you do a video on making vision boards? And I'm like, okay, that sounds like a pretty good idea. So I just wanted to kind of, I'll even show you mine, which is totally embarrassing, but I'll do it anyway, and it's like 10 months old. But I'll show you mine, and I'll show you kind of like some other suggestions that you may or may not see in other videos about vision boards. So how this fits into my channel, I guess a little bit, is law of attraction sort of thing, how to draw things into your life. So first of all, I got involved with this. I was at like a sales training meeting and we were creating them. So I made one, and I made something similar in high school, but that one was more for what kind of person are you? So they're kind of different. But this one in this meeting was like, well, what do you want? What do you want to accomplish? And the key thing that stuck with me is they said, it doesn't matter how you get there. Your brain doesn't really function into that part of it. It's just that your brain understands pictures. So what you lay out on a vision board and what you are looking at all the time plants a seed. And once you get emotion backed behind that, you can start to manifest those things and bring them into your life. So here's me, much younger, much more inexperienced with life in general. But my vision board had an image of me in the future and this model-looking woman, and I had palm trees in back of me and this very handsome dark-haired man and all this stuff, and nothing that I had in that current time. But eventually I colored my hair dark, like with that model. I had red hair at the time. And I did move to Florida because at the time when I was making this board, it's like I was terrified to fly, and I never knew how I would get to a place with palm trees without flying. Well, I moved to Florida, so there were my palm trees and my beaches and all that. And I have met some attractive dark-haired men in my life. So, all that stuff actually kind of happened. So I thought about that in last January, and so I made a new one. I made it actually on New Year's Eve. Now, you can make a vision board anytime you want, anytime you feel compelled. And again, it doesn't matter how you get there. That part doesn't even factor into it. Don't even worry about that. Just put the images down that you want to see happen. And remember that the feeling has to be behind that. That's the whole component in creating vision boards or any kind of law of manifestation. You have to believe that you already own it, and that's why you have to look at it all the time and get those images in your brain, so your brain starts to pull those things in along with your spirit. I know it sounds crazy, but it actually works. I made some notes so I wouldn't forget anything I wanted to tell you guys. Oh, okay, well, it doesn't cost hardly anything to make one of these. It depends on how much you want to invest in it. All you need is a poster board, some glue, and some magazines, and you can get magazines at the thrift store, so you don't have to buy like brand new $5 magazines unless you want to, but thrift stores generally have used magazines you can get like really cheap for like 25 cents. So there's some things that I'm going to tell you to consider adding to your vision board that probably you may or may not heard on other channels. I don't know. There's probably billions of channels that talk about this, but there is such a thing as color therapy. So depending on what you want to attract in, I, at the time, happened to use a lot of red and pink because I was very interested in romance and love and drawing that in. So those are the colors that I used. But like, if you want to draw in more psychic ability or creativity, you could use purple or lavender. If you want to manifest in money, you can use green or gold. Health, you could use blue and green. And calmness, like say you just want more peace and calm and tranquility in your life, you could use blue. So you can Google the psychology of color. It's been studied forever. Like marketing agencies and such use color psychology in everything that they do. So there's that. So in picking your poster board, or say the images that you're trying to draw in, you can do that with, use a certain amount of a certain color. Also, it would help too if you use some kind of images that trigger you emotionally, like that make you happy, or what you associate one thing to another thing. So I don't know, say when you think of wealth, you've always thought of like a pot of gold when you were a little kid with a rainbow. Use that in your board, because that will trigger that emotional response that'll help you attract that in. So I used hearts on mine. when I was buying this stuff for my board, it was January, so all the February Valentine's Day stuff was out. So I just had a heyday and went nuts. But there's some other interesting things with this that I want to show you. Now, how you do your vision board doesn't really matter. I've seen people who have just used words because that's how they learn, or that's what they want to use. I'm a very visual person, so I use pictures, but I also used words. But I also used glitter, and like these are little spongy foam things, little rhinestones. I mean, I went all out. And my board is actually like reflective material. So I wrote, like, the comments I put were like unstoppable at the top, and get noticed, and I don't just own it, I master it. Turn back the clock around the clock. I even put like some of my Chinese fortunes for my fortune cookies, because I love Chinese food. Let's see. Do what you love what you do. Love your body. Shopping, love this life. So this is what I really wanted to point out, because some of these things have happened for me. So I don't know if you can see. I put a picture of this apartment. Now, back a year ago, I had no way of even considering purchasing a house or a condo, and right now I'm in the middle of closing on a condo, which actually kind of resembles this condo right here. I don't have the lights or the pictures yet, but I am looking for this sofa, and I found it online. So I am going to own this sofa, guys. It's happening. I would love to own these, but I don't know. That might be next year. I put lots of pictures of New Orleans on here. I've been to New Orleans once, and I fell in love with it. I want to go back. And at the time when I made this, I thought, I want to meet someone or get engaged or something, and I want to get married in New Orleans. Well, I haven't really met anyone, but my feelings about marriage have kind of changed this year, so I think that's why that hasn't manifested. A lot's changed with me in 10 months, so I'm not sure how I feel about marriage anymore. But I think that's why that hasn't happened. But what's interesting is that another thing with New Orleans that has come in, it's like, I really would love to open a shop for what I do in New Orleans. Now, typically, I'm a tarot reader and psychic. I don't really delve too much into like the motivational side of things, although I'm very interested in it. I have a background in social psychology, so I'm interested in all of these things, and to me they all kind of tie together. But I would love to have a shop in New Orleans someday and like have it be as like a second home and travel back and forth. So I have this girl who works out, which is not me at the moment, but it's going to be. I'm looking into getting involved with a company that deals in health and fitness as like a kind of third income. So the long hair thing, I actually got extensions this year. That did happen. So that happened. The condo happened. The couch is going to happen. The fitness thing is going to start very soon. I didn't win $100,000, but to me, getting the condo was worth that pretty much. And, you know, the relationship thing, but that's not something I'm in a huge hurry about. That may just be something that happens next year that I put on my board. So next year's board will probably have a new car, because I need a new car, and probably more with my business stuff and maybe some relationship stuff. We'll see. But, so yeah, that's my lovely board. Let's see, did I need to say anything else on this? I don't think so. I mean, it's pretty cut and dry. And you know, they're just fun to do. You can always have people help you out with it if you want or whatever, but make sure you keep it out. And as far as the time frame goes, I mean, I would say as soon as you finish one board, you know, finishing your goals on that board, to move on to the next one, and to keep doing that as a reminder. No matter how far you get, there's always going to be stuff that you're going to want to achieve in life. So that's everything. I hope that was helpful to you, and thank you so much for watching. Blessings.